Thankful to be in all of your association who are chanting the holy names of the Lord during the Brahma Muhurta hours. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Subala Gopal Prabhuji, Baswati Mataji, Baldev Seva Prabhuji, Karina Mataji, Madhva Krishna Prabhuji, Rame Pran Prabhuji, and Mohini Madhavi Devi Mataji. Today we will sing a bhajan to worship the great Vaishnavas, especially because today is a special day, the disappearance day of great Goswami, Rupa Goswami, and Gaudidas Pandit. So let's sing a bhajan to worship these great Vaishnavas. This bhajan is by Narottam Das Thakur from his book Prarthana. It's in Bengali. Ebaro karuna karo Vaishnava Gosani Patita Pavana Toma. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, can I finish this bhajan or you want to speak? I can do it after. Hare Krishna.
We can hear you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Prabhuji, I can finish this bhajan quick. Ebaro karuna koro Vaishnava Goshani Patita Pavana Toma Bine ke honai যাহারা নিকটে গেলে পাপ দূর যায় এমনা দয়ালা প্রভু কে বা কোত পায় গঙ্গারা পরাশা হইলে পশ্চাতাপাবান দর্শনে পবিত্রা করো এ তোমারা গুণ হরিস্থানে অপরাধে তারে হারি নাম তোমাস্থানে অপরাধে নাহি পরিত্রাণ তোমারা হৃদয়ে সদা গোবিন্দ বিশ্রাম গোবিন্দা কোহে না মোরা বৈষ্ণব পরাণ প্রতি জন্মে করি আশা চরণের ধূলি নারতমে করো দয়া আপনার বলি হরে কৃষ্ণ 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 হরে 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 রাম 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 হরে হরে. Hare Krishna. Translation. O Vaishnava Goswami, please be merciful to me now. There is no one except you who can purify the fallen souls. Where does anyone find such a merciful personality by whose mere audience all sins go far away? After bathing in the waters of the sacred Ganges many times, one becomes purified. But just by the sight of you, the fallen souls are purified. This is your great power. The holy name delivers one who has committed an offense to Lord Hari. But if one commits an offense to you, there is no means of deliverance. Your heart is always the resting place of Lord Govinda. Lord Govinda says, the Vaishnavas are in my heart. I desire the dust of your lotus feet in every birth I may take. Please consider Narottama yours and be kind upon him. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share this bhajan on the disappearance day of Rupa Goswami and Gaudidas Pandit. Now let's please request Neela Govind Prabhuji to lead us in his wonderful Bhagavad Gita class. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, the devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. We continue our discussion. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Gita, chapter number 2. Text number 52. Hare Krishna. Yadate moha kalilam buddhirvate yatitarishyati tadagantasi nirvedam srotavyasya srutasya cha. Translation purport given by His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivinoda Swami Srila Prabhupada. Your devotees is a very important shloka. Please let us try to hear very nice, very attentively. When your intelligence has passed out of the dense forest of delusion, you shall become indifferent to all that has been heard and all that is to be heard. Purport. There are many good examples in the lives of great devotees of the Lord, of those who became indifferent to the rituals of the Vedas simply by devotional service to the Lord. When a person factually understands Krishna and his relationship with Krishna, he naturally becomes completely indifferent to the rituals of fruitive activities. Even though an experienced Brahmana, Sri Madhavendra Puri, a great devotee and acharya in the line of devotees, says, Sandhya Vandana Bhadram Astu Bhavato Bho Snanastubhyam Namo Bodheva Pitarascha Tarpana Vido Naham Kshama Kshumati Yatra Akvapi Nisadhya Yadava Kulottamasya Kamsadvisaha Smaram Smaram Magam Harami Thadalam Manya Kim Manye Mehe. For my prayers 3 times a day. Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu Bhavadobo. O bathing, O bathing, O bathing, I offer my obeisances unto you. O demigods, O forefathers, please excuse me for my inability to offer you my respects. Now, wherever I sit, I can remember the great descendants of the Yadu dynasty, Krishna, the enemy of Kamsa. Thereby, I can free myself from all sinful bondage. I think this is sufficient for me. The Vedic rites and rituals are imperative for neophytes, comprehending all kinds of prayers 3 times a day, taking a bath early in the morning, offering respects to the forefathers. But when one is fully in Krishna consciousness and is engaged in transcendental loving service, one becomes indifferent to all these regulative principles because he has already attained perfection. If one can reach the platform of understanding by service to the Supreme Lord, he has no longer to execute different types of penances and sacrifices as recommended in the revealed scriptures. And similarly, one has not understood that the purpose of the Vedas is to reach Krishna and simply engages in the rituals, then he is uselessly wasting time in such engagements. Persons in Krishna consciousness transcend the limits of Shabda Brahma or the range of Vedas in the Upanishads. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuranmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadhamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhara, Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, Pangam Langayate Girim, Yatkripātamaham Bande, Shri Guru Dinatarinam. Hare Krishna. So, it's a very interesting shloka. But before we go into the shloka, I want to discuss a question which I was asking couple of days back, 3 days back. We were not, we were unable, not there for one day, and then yesterday we were discussing questions and answers. So before that day, I was asking this question. What was that question? How was Samasritaye Padapallavaplavam Mahatpadam Punna Yasho Murarihi Bhavambudirvatsa Padam Param Padam Yadvipadam Natesam. How is that? How is that for a devotee? This material ocean becomes like a footprint of a calf. What is the size of a footprint of a calf? Very small. How is it this whole material existence will become like that? Oh, right now, if we have to go from India to US, 1 day travel. But here it has been said that everything will become, and this is just only a very fragmental portion of this material world, very insignificant portion. Now here the Shastras are telling the entire material creation is being condensed to the calf's footprint. Footprint. How is that possible? Said we will discuss about that today. So, dear devotees, anyone would like to add anything on that? The Zoom call is not on mute, so you can unmute and then you can tell. Anyone has any idea about this? How is that this entire material nature is becoming like a calf's footprint? How is that going to happen? Anyone would like to add? That means, dear devotees, that means all the problems, all the troubles, all the miseries, they're not negated. They're like nothing. Because this entire creation becomes like a calf's footprint. That size it will be. That means if it becomes that size, then for you to go from the material realm to the spiritual realm, it's no brainer, it's very easy. Now, for whom this is very easy? For what kind of devotees these things are manifested? That was the question. So, looks like nobody wants to share.
Hare Krishna
So,
Prabhuji.
for whom?
So,
Yes, Ramsey will also.
yes, Prabhuji. So,
1 second,
if,
1 second. Let me
if,
increase the volume. Yes, please tell.
if we surrender to the spiritual master and follow all the instructions of pure devotee and do devotional service all our life and do everything for Krishna, this big ocean becomes like a calf's footprint. Otherwise, it's a big ocean. It's very difficult to cross this ocean. Only with the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, we can cross it, and they will reduce it to the size of a small cow's footprint for us.
Very nice. Thank you for sharing them. So, it's a no-brainer because from our end, we cannot do anything in this world. If you desire to have a child, if there is a sanction, you'll get a child. No matter how much you try, you cannot get a child if there is no sanction. You desire to get married, if it is sanctioned, you'll be married. If there is no sanction that in this life you cannot get married, then you will not be married. For example, you want to have good relation with your wife. but she is not cooperating. That is what we are destined. There is no cooperation, that is what it is. We have to act. We cannot do anything here. We think that we are doing something. All that something which we are doing, you know what is? It is actually part of mercy. Everything which we are doing in this world. Today we are sitting, it's mercy only. We're discussing, it is mercy. You are hearing, it is mercy. You're sharing something, it is mercy. We're receiving something. Dadati pratagunati guhyamakyati prachata. Today is Ekadashi, very auspicious day. It's mercy. We don't know whether we'll be there for the next Ekadashi or not. It's mercy. That means not knowing is also mercy. Parikshit Maharaj was kept in a particular state. He didn't know what to do at that moment. All of a sudden, he exploded in his consciousness, and then he put a dead snake around Shamik Rishi. And after that, he was just walking by. He was just thinking about that. Why did I do that? I've never done that in the past. Why did I do that? Oh, my dear Lord, this is the greatest sin which I've committed. Oh, please give me punishment for this. That means what are they saying? At every moment, they're seeing the mercy. When someone is seeing mercy at every moment, they understand everything is given to me. Through that mercy, what he does is he does dependency. Remember a couple of days back. A couple of days back, yesterday only I told. Yesterday I said, in our farm, here in Ongol, it's about 40, 30 minutes from Ongol. It's a very beautiful farm. Krishna Balram temple is there. And in this farm, this year is very hot actually. No, since March itself, it's very hot. So since March up until now, there's no break to this heat wave, continuous heat. So mother cows, we have about 250 to 300 cows there in one farm. Another farm, we have another 150 cows. They're all, Indian cows. And through a lot of heat wave, it's very difficult for mother cow. They're becoming weak. They're eating more, but they're becoming weak. So the problem is the nature. That means there are three kinds of miseries which comes to us: Adhyatmika, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. The misery which I am discussing now is Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika. What is that? Misery is from the material nature. It's a severe heat wave. Then devotees were there in the farm. They didn't know what to do. They're doing everything what the best they are doing. Every day, whatever has to be done, it is done. But technically, what is happening here? Well, a mother cow, they're becoming weak and weak. And then our spiritual master, he decided, let us do Sankirtan Yajna. And he tells to us every day that we should be dependent. And now he manifested that. Not just this example, multiple examples happened in the community previously also. Also, I was attracted to the community through his selfless services. So what happened is, they did Sankirtan Yajna for 5 hours continuously. And then to the surprise, around 8 p.m. in the night, heavy rain, all of a sudden. There's no forecast also that it's going to rain today. There's no forecast yet. What? We have this prediction, right? There's no forecast like that. You can go and check the forecast also. There was no forecast to rain. But heavy rain, 40, 45 minutes. It was pouring, pouring, pouring. Why? Selfless service, selfless desire. Because cows they have to be taken care. Huge rain. Srila Prabhupada, when in Hyderabad, there was drought like this. Then they called Srila Prabhupada. He chanted Harinam Sankirtan. Then after 7 days, full rain got pacified. What is happening? The Devi Devatas, the Lord is pleased. through pleasing the Lord, what happens is they obey the Lord, the instructions of the Lord, immediately got sanctioned. So what am I trying to tell here is Krishna consciousness is a very practical process. We know we have to surrender. We know we have to submit. But whoever surrenders and submits, they will release the process. I will tell you for sure. Exactly to what Vamshulas Prabhu told. That is the answer actually. When we surrender and we submit, then everything will become very easy. How? Because the mercy is flowing. Because we'll be kept in that internal energy, into that state. That's what exactly happened. Yesterday, every devotee who was there, they were there for the selfless service. They were really intensely praying. Because this is what they received from the spiritual master. They were all so happy to see that now the weather is, today the heat wave is not there. The impact is there. So this Harinam will continue. Next Sunday also we are doing. Because the devotees, you see, Brijabasis, when they had a problem, did they solve the problem by themselves? No. When Indra was pouring the rain, they went to the Lord. They said, Krishna, Krishna, Mahabaho, please protect us. And Krishna came and protected. So Krishna and Krishna's holiness are non-different. Now, for whom it is non-different, whoever has left the sense gratification thought also from his heart, for him it is non-different, not for others. For example, a person chants for 10 million lifetimes, but he doesn't get this understanding. He will continue to chant 10 million lifetimes. He will not go back home back to God. He has to get this understanding for sure. What is that core desire one has to establish in one's heart? What is a desire? Not even a desire, not even a thought of sense gratification should come into my consciousness. With that attitude, when one chants, then he will realize, then he will come to Namabhav, then he will come to Shuddhanam also. And when that Shuddhanam is being chanted, everything will come. Everything will come. So it rained heavily yesterday. Not just in that surrounding, all around surroundings, it rained heavily. I'll tell another example. I think this was in 2015. Same story. It was very, very hot. But that day was Nirjala Ekadashi. Very hot, very severe hot. Generally, our area is very hot. Ongole is very hot. But that day was very, very hot. So, our spiritual master and community devotees, they all chanted Hare Krishna. They chanted for a couple of hours. Only in that particular area there is rain. You can actually do Google also. You'll find it. Not whole Ongole city, it got rain. No, only that area, that vicinity, that community, that locality, heavy rain. So you see response coming from the Lord. What is the expectation? Selflessness. If selflessness is not there, actually selflessness only comes through faith. Shraddha, Shabde, Vishwasya, Shraddhura Nisha, Krishna Bhakti Kare Sarva Karma Kritoha. Shraddha, Shabda, Vishwas. What is that? Staunch faith in the process of devotional service. Who will give? A pure devotee will give. We just chanted, E bharo karuna karo, Vaishnava gosa, Pratijanme kore asha, Charane radhuli. Why is Nartanda Shakur praying for life after life? I should aspire for that association. Because they know only through that association Krishna is revealed. They know through their service to those souls, Krishna is immensely pleased. Tomara hrudaye sada Govinda Vishrama Govinda kohe na mora Vaishnava Parana. What is in the heart of Govinda? Vaishnavas. What is in the heart of a Vaishnava? Govinda. How? We are on a pure plane. Pure plane. These aspirations give us deeper faith and conviction in the process. After yesterday's, day before also, through different activities which are happening in the community, I was sold out to that person, to that pure soul. Why? Because he has no expectations. His only desire is to give Krishna consciousness. No expectations. I remember one time he had 103 fever. He came and chanted for a couple of hours. That's what his desire. His desire is always to give Krishna consciousness, no matter what the situation is. Every moment he is absorbed in that, he wanted to give that. So this action and activity is what pleasing, because Arjuna will ask this kind of a question here, devotees. Sita Pragnastaka, how is the pure devotee looks? What does he do? This comes in chapter 2. How does a pure devotee look? 24 hours is engaged in Krishna consciousness. His absorption is in that. Is in that state. I remember spiritual master telling, when his spiritual master told him that when you get a chance or an opportunity to select two among these two, gold or cow dung, then he said, you choose cow dung. Why? Because that's authentic. Gold is different. That is closer to the heart of the Lord. Goloka. Who is Go? Mother cow. She's very dear to Krishna. So when devotees, when a pure soul, along with some few devotees, when they are chanting, Krishna is pleased with that. What is their intention? Krishna, this is in your hands. The prayer goes like this: Krishna, this is in your hands. Now you can continue this heat wave. You will survive with that also. But if you continue the heat wave, the mother cow will be affected so much. It's up to your desire. But we are intensely crying out for this. We are fully dependent on this. The devotees, I'll tell another aspect here. Intensely crying out, fully dependent on that. What is that proving, dear devotees? That is clearly proving that we don't have any other shelter other than him. Now, who will come to that particular state that we don't have any other shelter other than him? If he really doesn't have any other shelter, then he comes to that state. What is the state of surrender? Because I don't have any other shelter. You are the only shelter. You are my go-to person. You are my Prahanada. Then through that intensity, when you chant continuously, what happens? The Lord will come. Because the prayer, the chanting is Shuddhana, pure names. Another interesting aspect. When we are in the association of a pure devotee, I'll tell something very interesting. It doesn't matter whether we are pure or impure, whether we are this, whether we are that, whether we are fallen, whether we are this. It doesn't matter whether we are surrender, not surrender. It doesn't matter. Let me just do it. Let me just do it as a service. Let me just participate in this. That itself is the greatest blessing. Lakshmi Devi, she remembers, she understands that she's not qualified. She cannot enter. She was unable to. By seeing that she cannot go there. It's not that Lakshmi Devi is unable to enter that. It is her consciousness which doesn't allow her to enter into that particular state. Please understand this, dear devotees, because her consciousness is totally different compared to the consciousness of the gopis or the manjaris. Their consciousness is Vrindavan consciousness is totally different, dear devotees. Vrindavan consciousness is completely. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mission is only for selflessness only. This mission is created for selflessness. We come, we should understand and we should realize that. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he met Jagai and Madhai, he said, whatever you have done in the past, that's okay. But from now on, you should be selfless. It's the instruction which he gave them to Jagai and Madhai. Whatever you have done in the past, I've taken everything. But from now on, cannot repeat that. Now, when I see the mercy of Srila Prabhupada and especially his followers, that's even more intensifying than that. Even more merciful than what Lord Chaitanya told. Lord Chaitanya told from now on, no more sinful activity. But here, Prabhupada and his beautiful followers, they say, don't worry. If you commit sinful activities, don't worry. Just stay. Just stay in the process. I will take you one day. Just stay in the process. Just stay. Just stick on to the process. Try to have that eagerness. Then what are the acharyas? By the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, they are even more merciful. Please understand this. Because at that time, Jagai Madhai was being strictly been told, no more sinful activities. Are Krishna didn't even spoke to Arjuna up until Arjuna came to that state. What is that state? State of surrender. But here, Srila Prabhupada, he did not ask. You surrender, then only come. First you surrender, then only join the movement. Did he say like that? No. He said, you all come. On the day of initiation, Prabhupada told about 400 principles. Upon first initiation. Up until that point of time, they don't know. They said, Prabhupada said, next week we'll do initiation. How many of you will take initiation? Everyone raise their hands. They don't know what initiation is. See the causeless mercy they did about this. Srila Prabhupada, the Sri Vaishnava came to Srila Prabhupada and said, Swamiji, Are you have your Murti, your Archa Vigraha? Are when the Acharya is alive, Archa Vigraha is there, you have to take so much karma. You cannot do that. Papa says, I know, but they require mercy. They require mercy. See the attitude they develop. That kind of a personality we are dealing with. I remember one spiritual master telling, when we take shelter in that way, trying to please our spiritual master, trying to please Srila Prabhupada, trying to please the Lord, we can do anything in this world. Only time gap. Anything can be done. If nothing is done, Krishna will take us. That's okay. That is also greatest thing. What are we? We are just a small amsha. If we cannot do anything, that is also fine. But there's a chance through the empowerment, through the mercy, it can be done more. See the dependency here. That means at every step, what are they trying to see? They're trying to see how this mercy can be partaken, how this mercy can be given. Partaken is one thing, giving is another thing. Taking mercy is one thing, but giving that mercy is another thing. So it's very, very important. Think about this, how the entire material nature becomes like a cash footprint through the mercy. How it rained yesterday through mercy. That's Krishna's rain. Krishna personally sanctioned that. It's mercy. This didn't happen only once in the community. It happened multiple times. Not just yesterday. It happened multiple times. You know what is a mode? Selflessness. Service attitude. Pranipatena pariprashrena seva. Dear devotees, whenever I think about this pranipatena pariprashrena seva, I always remember this one aspect. If I do not have good relationship with my spiritual master, I cannot do service. If I do not have relationship with those persons, I cannot chant my rounds also. Cannot chant with intensity. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare. There is none difference. Krishna and is none difference. But how many of us have realized this? When the desire to gratify this world is there in our heart, this realization will not come. Even the thought, the mind will trigger on thought. If you are accepting that thought, immediately this thing is rejected. The mercy to chant is rejected. The people are bewildered in this world. because due to sense gratification. This entire world we see, a heat wave is only here. Other places are very, very good. They might be doing slaughter, they might be sending mother cows to slaughterhouse, they might be doing sense gratification in so many ways, but still the weather might be supporting them. But that is only for limited period of time. But here it might go through so many difficulties. So many troubles might come. You might not have anything. So many troubles, so many problems might come. So many people might reject. But still, if we continue that dependency, just like Brijavasis, Krishna, you are the only shelter. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Pranadhan. We don't have anyone else. You are our mercy, you are our shelter. When this hope is coming into our life, that only comes through a pure devotee. There's no other way. This I'm realizing more and more through the association. Because the devotee, I'll tell you something. A person can speak for 1 day or 2 days, but if a person is speaking for 20, 30 years continuously, it requires more deeper conviction. It requires complete submission, complete surrender. We see in those kind of devotees are there in the community. See, those kind of devotees are there in the movement. The spiritual master is one of them. Why it is this? Through that conviction, through that process of submission, through that process of surrender, those personalities invoke the submission and surrender into our hearts. This is called as association. What one should do? Simply oral reception. Simply one should hear. Hear with conviction. What is that conviction? This is different. This is really special. Things are happening. Things are changing. This process is working. So many times I got that reflection. Yes, books are there. Prabhupada is writing very nicely. Prabhupada is telling Krishna consciousness is the greatest thing. How do I experience that? Through association. To get that kind of association. That means the knowledge which our acharyas are giving, you should see in a personified form. Then we get realization. Then we get reflections. Up until that point of time, we have to find that person. That is the purpose of this life. If we do not find that person, then we have to leave. Devotees, I'll tell you something. This is very interesting, and we should actually perceive this. We should think about this. Because I remember Mr. Master telling when I first met him, he said, your bhakti begins only when you surrender. What he said? He said, your bhakti begins only when you surrender. When you think about that, you see, surrender only comes through faith. Surrender comes through conviction. Because if I have faith on something else, obviously, if there is nothing, it is not Krishna consciousness, it is materialism. If there is a faith in this materialism, what happens is, I get attached to that. That means my faith is absorbed where? Partially here, partially there. That means my faith is like weeping. It's kind of this thing, right? Where Dharma tells mother cow that the both are weeping. Parikshit Maharaj is asking, Dharani and Dharma. Dharma is bull representation. Dharani is mother cow. She is mother earth. Mother earth is represented as mother cow. So he would ask Dharani and Dharma, why are you crying? Now, Dharma is crying because it is weeping in the one leg. Tapa, Saucham, Dhaya, Satyam. Tapa, Saucham, Dhaya. Tapa means austerity. Saucham is cleanliness, daya, mercy. These three legs are broken. Kali entrance means these three legs are broken. That means in Kali Yuga there is no tapasya. There is no cleanliness also. Daya is, forget about daya. So wherever you go, you'll see slaughterhouses, child abuses, so many things. No daya, no mercy here. There's only one thing which is truthfulness. If you actually see, truthfulness is also very shaky. Now, how many of the people in this world are truthful? It's very shaky. And that means truthful in the sense how many of them are really following the principles of the scripture? Very, very shaky. That means when truthfulness is also kept in that particular state, then dharma is actually weeping. What is she doing? She's weeping. So do dharma. Dharani and dharma, they are completely weeping here. So Yudhishthira, Dharma, Parikshit Maharaj, he would ask them, why are you weeping? Then they immediately responded that we are destined to that, to receive that. I can't complain on anyone. We're just waiting. We're just waiting for the mercy. Not that we are begging for the mercy. It's just our position, our natural position is to depend. We're just depending on that. This is what exactly I see in our community. Srila Prabhupada's mercy, spiritual master's mercy is so intensely packed, where the community is thriving on this plane. They're fully dependent. They're doing their, they just do their services. Kim Kara. Just been told, they just do it. So that go-to attitude, what is that go-to attitude is giving is, that go-to attitude is actually invoking the mercy of the Lord. Yesterday was an example. I just thinking about this. Why? What is the problem? What is the problem in not taking this Krishna consciousness seriously is the faith on the process. The faith is given to us by those devotees, by those pure souls, by the spiritual master. Through that faith, what happens is surrender comes, submission comes, selfless service comes, pure devotional service comes. Moving forward, leading our life, there might be so many problems. We keep all of those problems aside and then move forward. This attitude has to be cultivated. So through this attitude, what happens here, devotees? You are actually invoking the mercy of the internal energy. Internal energy, mercy comes through this way. Through submission, tapo divyam putrakayana sattva. Through that austerity. What is austerity? I will strictly follow the instructions of my spiritual master. What is austerity? I can only follow the instructions of my spiritual master if I feel if I feel a relationship with that person. And he has given me so much. Let me follow this nicely. They're giving their so much time. Let me follow them. They're extending the relationship nicely. We are there, not there. We are coming, not coming, but still they are coming. They're extending their time so much. They're giving the relation so much. Let me extend. Let me extend more. Let me extend my side also. Etamam prapadyante tam sada bhajami. Because this extension, when we are connecting to the spiritual teacher, what is happening is we are actually connecting to the Guru Parampara. Because this spiritual teacher is actually in alliance with the Guru Parampara. He's actually following those instructions. That is how the mercy flows. This is called as Avaroha Pantha, deductive knowledge. And this knowledge we should pursue more and more. I'm just thinking about this more and more. Why, dear devotees? Because if I don't have faith in the process, I cannot continue. I cannot continue my reading, cannot continue my hearing, cannot continue my shravana, cannot continue my kirtana. What is kirtana? Speaking. Cannot continue that if I don't have faith in the process. That means the faith has to be intensified. How does the faith is intensified? Following the rules. By following the rules, what happens? You get reflections. Through that reflection, what happens? You actually see the presence of the Lord. See the presence of the spiritual master. Multiple times I've seen my spiritual master in my dreams. It's not a dream actually. It is service. It's not a dream. I never say that it as a dream. Remember, I discussed about this aspect. What is this dreamlike state and awakened state? There's nothing called as dream here. Just the body is resting, but the subtle body is always active. The body is resting. Doesn't mean that whatever the consciousness is thinking, that's not dreams. They are real. That is happening in another plane. They are also real. Just like there is ant here, through ant consciousness, something is happening here. Likewise, on the subtle plane also it will happen. Likewise, when we go forward, when we go further into Krishna consciousness, what happens is we will actually deal through the soul level. When we have completely neglected this bodily plane. That means when we are completely out of this bodily plane. Neglecting means not that I don't eat. Neglecting means we eat to maintain the body and soul together. That's it. Today is Ekadashi. We don't take prasadam. We don't take heavy meals. Little juice, little fruit. That's it. Happy. You don't have to dwell too much. And then what do we do the rest of the time? Devotional service. Thinking. Dear devotee, this is very important, dear devotee. The more you actually put this into act, you think about this. What is that? What is the thought process? Aj Krishna is telling surrender. Sarvadharman parityajat. How is this surrender coming? Arjuna accepted that surrender. Okay. Arjuna, before hearing the Bhagavad Gita, he was telling that he will not fight. But after hearing the Bhagavad Gita, he said he will fight. How is that fighting coming? The fighting coming is the spirit of surrender. Through that spirit only fighting is coming. He said that I will fight through this spirit. Because if the spirit of submission, the spirit of surrender is not there, Arjuna would never have spoken those words. Karishya vachanam tava. He wouldn't have spoken those words. But why Arjuna is speaking? Why Arjuna is speaking at this time? But how come Arjuna is not speaking at that time? Why was he not speaking at that time? But what is the difference? What happened in this half hour? This entire half an hour is our millions of lifetimes. Exactly, dear devotees. I actually see this half an hour discussion between Krishna and Arjuna is like millions of lifetimes for us. Why this is millions of lifetimes? Because we have to come into this material world. We have to take this human form of life and we have to degrade ourselves. Our consciousness has to be degraded. Go into animalistic life. Again come to the human form of life. Again go to animalistic. Again human. Again animalistic. Again human. Finally, we will meet a Vaishnava. And then through that association, we get connected to the Acharyas. And then through that association, we come to the plane of submission and surrender. So there's a lot of time is happening, but this all happened within half hour between Arjuna and Krishna. That means how is that Arjuna before that is not doing it and after that he's doing? And then why are we unable to do that in that level in which Arjuna wanted us to do? This is just what exactly Srila Prabhupada actually tells. Srila Prabhupada says in the preface of Bhagavad Gita, if you come to this understanding that if you simply follow the words of what actually Arjuna did, and if you repeat those things to the core of your heart, you'll come to the state of submission. What you're doing, you have to just follow what Arjuna did. Why Arjuna has been baffled up? Because he is actually showing our pathetic condition. I always see myself, Arjuna's baffled up is my bafflement in this world. His bewildering state is my bewildering state in this world. Because I was bewildered multiple times. I was bewildered for sense gratification. I was bewildered for name, fame, profit, adoration. I was bewildered for opposite sex. I was bewildered for so many things. I was bewildered for money. So many things that these bewilderments are there. That means Arjuna is showing that bewilderment through his change in consciousness. But who is actually bewildered? It is not Arjuna. It is we who are bewildered. So through that bewilderment, what I should know? I should understand how do I come out of this bewilderment. How a person will actually come out of this bewilderment? Through faith. If the person has strong faith, then only he will actually come out of this bewilderment. Otherwise, he will have faith. That is called as Vyuda Vikalpa. What is this Vyuda Vikalpa? Phase of dualities. Continuous dualities. The Jiva is in continuous dualities. Sometimes he wants to do devotion, sometimes he doesn't want to do devotion. Sometimes he thinks that he's a pure devotee, sometimes he thinks that he's a fool number one. Sometimes he thinks that he's this, sometimes he thinks that he's something else. This is called as Vyuda Vikalpa. Straight up bewilderment. Sometimes he want to chant, sometimes he doesn't want to chant. Sometimes he says that so sense gratification is the worst thing. Sometimes he is deeply engaged in sense gratification. What is this state? This is called as Judo Vikalpa. What is this Judo Vikalpa doing? Judo Vikalpa keeps the jiva in a bewildered state. Why this bewilderment is coming? Because it doesn't have faith. This is what exactly spiritual master will come and give. Faith through their life, through their services, through their association. This is what exactly they give. That's why Prabhupada actually says we are so much indebted to those personalities. 1 second. That's what exactly Prabhupada says. We're so much indebted to those personalities. So this we need to understand. So the more we assimilate this truth in this way, why your faith will not be increased? Why our faith will not be increased? Our faith will be intensified more and more. Through that intensified faith, what happens is submission definitely will come into our heart. And through that state, this entire material world will become like a calf of paint. That means the consciousness, your consciousness is elevated so much that you see this material world is like nothing actually in front of you. It's nothing, it's material world. That is this feeling, this material world is nothing. That is the perfection. Nothing in the sense nothing in the sense we're not disrespecting this material nature. This material nature is also by the Lord. Nothing in the sense I don't have any connection to this. That is what I mean, nothing means. Respecting material nature, we respect Durga Devi, we respect all Devi Devatas. Or a Vaishnava will respect even an ant, he will not respect Devi Devatas, he'll respect everyone. Nothing means I'm not connected to that. But right now that faith is not there. That's why we feel connected to this place. That's why we don't want to leave. Yes, 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 I should get green card. Yes, 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 I should get citizenship. Yes, 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 I should do this, I should do that. Yes, 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 I should have another home. Because attachments. Still, you don't have to lament, continue. Should continue. But have this desire. Oh, my dear Lord, please give me this. I want to pray. Please give me this. Please give me this faith. Why? Then Krishna will immediately ask, wow, why you want faith, Baba? Then you should say, I should develop deep relationship with my acharyas and my spiritual teachers. If you say that, Krishna will sanction. Now, how does the relationship is developed? Through service attitude. Pranipadena pariprashana. If the service attitude is established, then the relationship is intensified. Then it will not be any theory knowledge. Then practically this realization will come to your heart. Samasritaya padapallavaplavam mahat padam punya yasha murarehe bhavambudirvatsa padam param padam 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 yad vipatam natesam. That conviction will come to the heart. This represents bhakti. Are children might have problems, children might do this, children might not listen. I should immediately ask this question. Are children are not listening because I am not listening to my spiritual master in Krishna. That's why children are not listening. Why children are not listening? Because I am not submission. I am not submitting myself. Are Krishna is saying, Are you first submit, then your children will submit. Krishna is telling. That's what I see. If there is a problem, I see the problem is here. That's why I'm seeing problems here. Problems are coming because problem is here. Problem is in the heart, that's why problems are coming. The problem has to be removed. How the problem will be removed? Pranipatena pariprashana seva. Upadekshayanti te gnanam gnanina sat. Because they have transcendental knowledge. They will give us the transcendental knowledge for free. No charge, free of cost, free. No one can understand. Even it is been given for free. That they know. But still they give it for free. Hare Krishna. It's very deep science. Krishna consciousness is not a joke actually. You've been given the greatest sign. I'll tell you this, dear, there is nothing higher than what we are discussing. No, so many spiritualist person they can tell. There's nothing higher. But I am telling there's nothing higher because this has directly been spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is a source of everyone. Who can tell greater source than him? He can convert this entire material notion as calf hoof print. Can anyone can convert? No one can convert. Go to any Mayavad. Can he convert this? No. Go to some impersonalist. Ask him to, can you convert this material nature into a calf hoof print? Arre Bapre, what are you telling, Baba? I cannot do that. Then you are not God. Then why are you proclaiming yourself as God? You God, I God, everyone is God. You're not God. It's a foolishness. The false ego is so deep that they want to become God. The Prabhupada immediately said, Mother Yashoda is controlling God only. What you God? Cheap God. She is controlling the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She is greater than the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No, is it a joke? You know what? Supreme Personality of Godhead is being fearful in front of his mother. This one thing, if you discuss this one thing, you'll understand what this bhakti is. Alright, dear devotee, I'll tell you something. You don't know what bhakti. I don't know what bhakti is. Really. It's very deep actually. I don't know. I'm just going by the mercy. I'm just flowing by the mercy. But really, I tell you, I don't know what bhakti is. Because I'll tell you something. Because yesterday I was thinking about this. I was discussing with one of the scientist devotee. We have a scientist devotees also here in our community. So this scientist is from ISRO. He gave up everything. He's full time in our community now. He's a ISRO scientist. I was talking to him yesterday. He was sharing. We both are neighbors. Very. Whenever we get time, we discuss only. We don't have any other business. We don't say, is your wife hearing or is your children hearing? We don't discuss any of these things. We just discuss Krishna Katha because everything is taken care in that only. So we were discussing yesterday. Very interesting. Oh, actually, yesterday, 23rd is like Space Day. Space Day in India. So, but we're not discussing about that. We're discussing another interesting aspect. When Krishna left Vrindavan, he went to Mathura. He lived for about 90 to 100 years. Little over 100 years. I was asking, have you thought about the consciousness of Mother Yashoda, the Brijavasis, the Gopis and the Manjaris and the Gopavalas? So Krishna is not there. He was there for some time. Now he said that he will come in couple of days. He went with Akrura. He told that he will come in couple of days. He did not come. Then how are they reacting? How are the Brijavasis reacting? This is what we are discussing. How are the Brijavasis reacting? We discussed, Prabhu, they were totally mad of the Lord. They're in a different realm. They don't know what they're eating, what they're doing, what they're sleeping, what is happening. They don't know who their child is, who their daughter is. Everyone is in that absorption only. Not like one person like that. Every person is in that state. That means how much relationship they should have developed with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Not just with Supreme Personality of Godhead, with all the other devotees also. They devoted, this is the beauty in Krishna consciousness. What is the beauty is not just they develop a deep relationship with the Lord, but they have intimate relationship with their fellow devotees also. That's the beauty. That's the beauty. You see, have you heard about this sequoia trees? Is only Radhana Swami Maharaj tells about this. Sequoia trees, they're in they're in Mountain View. Sequoia trees. They're in South San Francisco. Those sequoia trees are huge, but they don't fall. They're very tall. They've seen so much cyclone, this, that, so many other things, but they don't fall. How? Because they grow tall, but not just that, they extend themselves on the side. So the roots are intertwined with every other tree in the community. That means not just they have a relationship, but they have a relationship extend not just in on the top from the top, but on the sideways also. Because here the Brijavasis, not just they have intimacy with the Lord, they have intimacy with all the devotees also. So through that intimacy, we cannot express also, dear devotees, what they are actually feeling. That how deep they are separated in separation. This is bhakti, this is raganuga, this is devotion and bhakti, and this comes after surrender. I always think about this. Surrender is only beginning. That means what is after that? Oh, there is so much after that. But lightly, loosely, we don't discuss those things unless we are in that state. Please understand. Lightly, loosely, we don't discuss. That is the whole point. We don't discuss the passions of the Lord. Because we want to come to one state to discuss those passions of the Lord. Once that state is established, then you will actually understand. Once the state of submission, once the state of surrender is established into heart, then we'll understand. Yes, what exactly are they thinking? Then I said, Prabhu, I don't know what they are thinking. But one thing I know, which I know is even though they are mad, that madness is in a different level. Pure transcendental state. It's in a complete different state. Dear devotees, I tell you again, here only there are different realms. There's a gross realm, there's a realm on the senses level, there is a mind level, there is an intelligence level, there is a ego level, there is a soul level, there is premananda level, which is even more further than that. When one chants the Shuddhanam, his level is different, his consciousness is different. When a person is an Anantarani Vritti, because he is mixed, his level is different. That means his perception is limited to the perception to the person who is there in the Premananda state. Hare Krishna. So this thing has to be perceived. Children level, their level is different. Different realms here. It's all working. The children will cry if there is no pencil. Do we cry? We don't cry. We feel that we are childish. So likewise, that is one level. We feel that we are little more mature. But see the maturity of the devotees who are in the Premananda state. Pure devotional service. Now, when those devotees, when they chant, everything will come. Because Krishna is sitting in their heart. That's where Ian came yesterday. So it's very important. The perceiving association we should take like that. You should take the association in such a way that I remember one thing, dear devotees, when I first came to Krishna consciousness, I understood. Understood means Vaishnava gave as a mercy. This Vaishnava, he told, the association in Krishna consciousness you should be in such a way. The association should be taken in such a way based on their depth in Krishna consciousness, based on their conviction in the Krishna consciousness. Why the association should be taken in that way? Because that conviction will be gifted to us through their mercy. Through that way, we are actually dependent on them, and we are actually grateful to those persons. That's how it is manifest. So I'll stop here. It's a little late. Anyone has any question? Would like to add anything? Otherwise, I'll just stop it here. Hare Krishna. Chimpitana.
Happy or no?
Oh, thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your
So, Prabhu, yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Especially, doing it individually is very difficult. With association, it is very So I also wanted to, just add, like, today is our social for Mataji's birthday. So that's all. Wonderful birthday. Yeah.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. Ubal Prabhu. My prayers and best wishes. Sushilpa Mataji. May this year give you an opportunity to advance more and more in Krishna consciousness. My sincere prayers and best wishes so that you serve the spiritual master very nicely. Move forward in Krishna consciousness. Take this take the association more and more and be fixed up in the process. Hare Krishna. There's a long journey. Let us see how it would go. But my prayers, my sincere prayers and best wishes. Thank you. Hare Krishna. Anyone else like to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so very much
Hare Krishna.
for your heartfelt wishes, Prabhu. Much needed. Um, thank you for the beautiful class as well on faith. As you mentioned, without faith on the process, and process in the sense person, right, Prabhu? Without faith on the person, there is no way in as you said, bewilderment always. Um, in material thoughts, material actions itself, there would be a lot of bewilderment. What to speak of spiritual path, spiritual advancement. Mm, Something that I always or the cause of bewilderment, or the way to get out of this bewilderment is always check the heart. Always check the heart whether it is in line with the spiritual master's words or not. And while checking and giving that time to check itself is like greatest um, saving ourselves. If we don't check, then we will just I'll just go with the wind, and then the time will pass and gone. The day is gone. A lot of time lost. So check, and then when slowly, with the mercy of the spiritual master, checking will remember the words on what should be done at this point, which is dependency, right, Prabhu? Completely surrender, depend on the lotus feet of the Lord, on what He's trying to teach in this particular situation. And once we get to see that clearly, uh, through the words of the spiritual master, then we would take the action. Even there, if my false ego says, or my mind says, now that you know, but don't do, gone. So at that point also, it's, as you always say, padam padam yat padam. Every moment, there's always a choice whether I go with the word that I'm hearing, or go in the opposite direction with what my mind is saying. So as you always say, as you just mentioned also, it's a long way journey, checking every minute whether I'm really submitted, in which stage of submission am I. And as you also mentioned, thinking too much honor does, it's good to know, but not too much absorbed on the anarthas,
Exactly.
where rather than, yes,
When we are absorbed, what happens is there is every chance of to be depressed in the process. That is also another trick of the material nature. Through that depression, it will usurp our enthusiasm. So it is a whole part. When we have taken shelter, when we have understood this is a process, when we know this works, this is working, then why worry about our others? Just move forward. Just do the services. Do the services what we are supposed to do. And then lead a simple life. We don't want to find faults with any. We don't want to judge anyone. We just want to lead a simple life. Just move forward. That's it. Rest everything, spiritual master and the Lord will take care. Because the mercy is there. I am sure mercy is there. For sure. There's no doubt about it. Mercy is there. We have to develop that consciousness. That has to be implemented. Hare Krishna. Thank you. All the very best. Hare Krishna. Yes, Sheetal Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much. Prabhuji, please help me out. I'm like frequently experiencing there is a heaviness in my consciousness. Can you please help me out on that? I don't know what's the reason, but at that time that it is like so heavy. I feel my mind, my head will blast. I don't know, Prabhuji, please help me out in
Actually,
that.
I owe you a call. I did not call you. I'll call you. And Sushil Pamata just message me her number. And I will, based on my availability, I'll call her. Okay. Thank you. No problem. Don't worry. I'll call you. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dharapara, Magwasya Swarupa,
Hare
thank you for
Krishna.
giving wonderful
Very much.
lecture, Prabhuji. Thank you for giving wonderful bhajan from Sivas, Prabhuji. And thank you,
Thank
Shri
you.
Mati, for joining the call today. Happy birthday and also the Brahmadavani. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Vishmara Brahmamsa Parivrajakacharya Shri Shmare Sivaktivananda Samaraja Swarupar ki jai.
Jai.
Eskamilti Fanacharya Swarupar ki jai.
Jai.
Vishmara Brahmamsa Parivrajakacharya Shri Shrimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Samaraja Swarupar ki jai.
Jai.
Nandikut Vaishnav ki jai.
Jai.
Samacharya Shri Hridastapur ki jai.
Jai.
प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री राधे शिव श्री गुरु भक्तवृंद की जय।
Jai.
श्री श्री राधे कृष्ण गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधु गंगरी गौड़ंग की जय।
Jai.
श्री मायापुर धाम की जय।
Jai.
श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय।
Jai.
श्री जगन्नाथपुरी की जय।
Jai.
गंगा माया की जय।
Jai.
यमुना माया की जय।
Jai.
तुलसी देवी की जय।
Jai.
भक्ति देवी की जय।
Jai.
श्री राम सिंह की जय।
Jai.
समवेत भक्तवृंद की जय।
Jai.
नित्य गौर परमानंद हरि हरि बोल।
Hari Hari Bol.
All glories to Samandavati Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Samandavati Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Samandavati Sri Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to Shri Guru and Gauranga Namam Vishmaraya Krishna Shabhutal Shrimad Bhakti Viranda Samati Namani Namaste Saraswati Gauravari Pachare Nirvishesh Samvari Petra Deshtarne Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Sri Gaura Bhaktivinda Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangamalam Kadikari Makripatam Hamande Shri Guru Daritanam Paramanand Madam Shri Chaitanya Shram Karve Gaura Chandra Radhikatarali Krishna Krishna Bhaktaira Bhaktaina Manamaha Panchagopala Vishakri Bisme Evijabaditanam Pavane Vaishnavi Namaha Hare Krishna, everyone. Have a wonderful Krishna day. Hari Bol.
हरी हरी बोल करीना माता जी की जय ओम शिला प्रभु जी की जय स्क्रेस नील प्रभु जी की जय सुशील माता जी की जय बासुकी माता जी दीपाली माता जी मोहिनी माता जी रमाई प्राण जी दिव्या माता जी वेंकट प्रभु जी ऑल डिवोटीज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय थैंक यू प्रभु जी हरे कृष्णा
Hare
धन्यवाद
Krishna.
Prabhupada Ji ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada.